is a language I started making myself, and well, it's kind of a funny little scripting language. It came out as a kind of like hybrid of Python and Haskell and stuff I like from Odin. And initially, Bern started out as a how can I put it, like an interpreter for set theory, because I was studying formal systems and well, I was kind of wanting to experiment with that, but eventually it kind of grew into a completely fully fledged language. So of course, Bern has the full mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, of course. So that's that's pretty basic, but Bern also has other stuff, and as I said, well, it's kind of a completely fully fledged language. So let's start as a yeah, sure. Every file, every Bern file starts with a .brn start. Yeah, actually, it has the .brn extension type. You don't need it. The interpreter will infer it. Um, but yes, so it's an interpreted language, right? So of course, everything I write here will be interpreted. You can declare variables like this. This is a variable in the current global scope, right? But the thing about Bern and what differentiates it from other languages is that everything is an expression. So I have this .brn file, right? Usually what you would do if you want to like to print out a sum, you would call like print 10 plus 5 and this would return 15. But in Bern, you can actually just straight up do this and it will evaluate. And that is true for absolutely everything, such as hello world. It will evaluate. Because in the context I was imagining Bern, like it's a impure kind of a scripting language. But when you write some text on screen, right? When you print out stuff, uh, you know, you shouldn't go to the hassle of defining a whole thing and then calling out input output call. That's not necessary. I mean, that's convention, but it's not necessary. Why would you do that when you could just evaluate the expression, right? Of course, there are some cases in which you wouldn't evaluate the expression right now, so you would store it in a variable, right? Or you could just comment it out, I guess. But yeah, this is the most different thing from Bern. Everything evaluates. So that's pretty nice, I guess. At least I like it a lot. Either way, functions are the next step. So in Bern, you define a function with the def keyword from define, and you could get the name of a function, right? Name of function, and then the parentheses where the parameters of the function would be. And here we start with the Lua style syntax, right? So you have def name of function, do, and something. Of course, as it evaluates, if we just want to print out something, you could just do 10 plus 20 here, right? And end this. Of course, we could call name of function here. So this is how you call a function, and this is how you define it. If I go start here, 30. It printed out 30 because it evaluated 30. But let's imagine you wanted to store this, right? Not print it out just immediately. You could do return 10 plus 20. And if you try this out now, it will still work because it's returning, but it's not evaluating, and that's where it gets interesting. It's not the function call that enters here and evaluates here. What's evaluating actually is this return that's coming up from here. So name of function is now 10 plus 20, which is being evaluated as 30. It is not the same as the calling of the function, name of function, that is evaluating and printing it directly from here. Those are different. They are different ways of doing it. And because this is the same as doing 10 plus 20 here now, because this is returning. Either way, what we can do now is store this in a variable. A variable can just be defined as a name of a variable and an equal sign. So if we do this now, this will do nothing. But if we evaluate var plus 10, I guess, it should equal 40. Here we go. That's a 40. That's a very big 40. So yeah, this is pretty much how function works. Of course now, let's say we wanted to get some input from the user, right? So kind of like Python, we could do something like this. Hello, please state your name, and then we'll do name equals input, and actually, yes, inside here we could write name. So this is the text that will appear on the side of the input, and whatever the user types will be passed to the name variable. So we could just print out hello name. Hello, please state your name. My name is Mir. Hello, Mir. And that's a very simple input entry, right? Of course, you could also have conditionals. So if name equals Mir, except like that, then do, well, not feeling it. Else, hello name. End. Hello, my name is Mir. Well, not feeling it. But if I stay like Josh, I guess. Could be a name. Hello, Josh. And together, because I forgot to write a space here. But yes. So for now, this is pretty much what we have from the start of Bern. This is more of an experimental thing. I never done a tutorial like this, and I wish I could do a little bit better. But you know, it's just an attempt, and I just really wanted to show this out. So yeah, of course there are some other cool things, like there are some libraries which you could use. So here's a map. You don't need to know this yet, but you know, here's the list syntax, and this is a lambda syntax. X+2, and it would just work because map is a function from the core library. So yeah, wow, that's pretty much it. That is Bern.